Last class continuation, user defined exceptions. User defined exceptions. We can define a exception. According to our business requirements. The type of exceptions are called user defined exceptions. We can define an exception according to our business requirements. The type of functions are called user defined exceptions. The type of exceptions are called user defined exceptions. Steps to implement the user defined exceptions. Steps to implement the user defined exceptions. To create a user defined exception, user defined exception class. We can create user defined exception class. We can create user defined exception class. Our normal class, our user defined normal class is extending by built-in exception class is exception class name. Our class is extending by exception class. What is the syntax? If you want to create our own exception class, our class is extending by exception class. Exception is a built-in exception class in Python. That is the superclass of all the user-defined exceptions and as well as built-in exceptions. Step number 2. To create user-defined exception class object. To create user-defined exception class object is known as a raise the user-defined exception by using raise keyword. raise exception. Okay, we can raise the exception manually by using raise keyword. So built-in exceptions are automatically raised. We can raise the user-defined exception by using raise keyword. To handle the user-defined exceptions, this is the third step. We can handle the user-defined exceptions. User-defined exceptions by using try and accept blocks. We can handle the user-defined exceptions by using try and accept blocks. Observing very clearly. Now I want to create a one accept class. I'm taking as a value to small. My class is extending by exception class. Now here I'm providing simply one empty class I am created. Class value to large exception. Now I am importing module x equal to, I want to take one random number from 0 to 9. Okay. Now I want to guess the number, this x value. This is a number guessing program. While take the y value, int of input of, enter your option. Y block. So our y value is greater than x. In that situation, our value is greater than x means value to large exception I want to raise. Next one, elif y less than x. In that case, I want to raise value to small exception. Okay. Else means equal. In that situation, I want to exit from that loop. Now except value to small. At that time, I want to print value to small. Try again. Except value to large. Print value to large. Try again. Print. Your name, congrats. Your guess is correct. is a simple number guessing program. X contain any one random number from 0 to 9. Now I want to guess that number. Value too large. Okay. Okay. This is the number guessing program.
హలో సార్.
Tell me.
సార్ నాకు ఒకటి పాస్ వల్ల యూజ్ అండి సార్. ఇప్పుడు క్లాస్ కింద పాస్ రాసావు కదా, అదేంటి సార్, దేని కొరకు అది?
Empty class creation. If you interest, we can return any logic. Just I am creating a class.
ఓకే సార్. ఓకే
సార్.
Tell me.
పైన 2 క్లాసెస్ లేకపోయినా కానీ రన్ అవుతుందా సార్?
ఈ ఎక్సెప్షన్ క్లాస్ ఉండాలి కదా, ఎక్సెప్షన్ లేకుండా ఇది రేజ్ అవ్వదు కదా. ఇది యూజర్ డిఫైన్డ్ ఎక్సెప్షన్.
క్లాస్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి తర్వాత ఎక్సెప్ట్ అన్నది రన్ అవుతుందా సార్?
ఫస్ట్ ఈ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఎగ్జిట్ అవుతుంది, ఈ క్లాస్ ఎలకేట్ అవుతుంది, మెమరీ ఎలకేట్ అవుతుంది ఈ క్లాస్ కి. ఫస్ట్ ఈ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతాయి, మెమరీలో ఈ క్లాస్లు క్రియేట్ అవుతాయి. క్లాస్ క్రియేట్ అవ్వకుండా మనం క్లాస్ని యూజ్ చేయలేం కదా.
ఓకే సార్. ఓకే. తర్వాత ఎక్సెప్ట్ ఎప్పుడు రన్ అవుతుంది సార్?
ఈ ట్రై బ్లాక్ లో ఎక్సెప్షన్ రైజ్ అయితే, ఇక్కడ ఎక్సెప్షన్ కనుక రైజ్ అయితే ఇది రైజ్ అవుతున్నప్పుడు ఇక్కడికి వస్తుంది కంట్రోలర్. ఇది చెక్ చేస్తుంది, రెండు మ్యాచ్ అవ్వకపోతే ఇక్కడికి వస్తుంది.
ఓకే సార్.
Sir, I have a doubt here.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, you have used raise keyword in the try block, right? So this is working. This is treating as a object of that particular class.
Internally, it is creating an object of exception class in the sense to raise the exception. In the built-in exception, internally automatically exception is raising and creating an exception class object is created and raising. This is a user-defined exception. If you want to raise the user-defined exception simply by using raise, whenever we can raise this exception, internally this exception class object is created. That exception class object is passing to except block.
హలో సార్.
Yeah, tell me.
సార్ ఇక్కడ x ఈక్వల్ టు ర్యాండమ్ డాట్ ర్యాండ్ ఇంట్ అంటే అదేంటి సార్? ర్యాండ్ ఇంట్ అంటే ఏంటి సార్? అంటే ర్యాండమ్ నెంబర్సా?
Random integer values generate చేస్తుంది 0 to 9.
ఓకే ఓకే సార్.
First these two classes are executed. Next one control go to here. For suppose x takes any one random number from 0 to 9. For suppose x takes 7. Next control go to while loop, read the data from the user input. For suppose I am passing 5. Now check the condition. 5 greater than x value is 7. Now condition is failed. Control will go to elif block. Now 5 less than 7. Condition is true. Now control go to this one to raise the value to small. Internally, this particular class object is created. That class object is nothing but value to small. Next one, control will go to which one? Except block. Try block to identify this exception class object and receiving and forwarding to this except block. Now this is a value to small, both are matching. Now this message is printed, value too small, try again. This is a which one? Infinite loop. That's why after executing the statement, control will go to here outside this except block, don't return any logic. Again, control go to this while loop. Again asking, enter your choice. For suppose I enter the number is 9. Check the condition. 9 greater than 7. Condition is true. Now control will go to this exception block. To raise the value to large means this exception class object is created. The try block to receive that object and forwarding to the except block, but this is a value too small. But in our exception class object is value to large. It is not handled. Now control go to this except block, value to large. This message is printed, value to large, try again. After printing this message, again control will go to outside this except block. Outside this except block, don't return any logic. Again control go to this while loop, again asking the number. Or suppose I am passing the number is 7. Now check the condition, 7 greater than 7. Condition false. Control go to elif, 7 less than 7. Condition false. Control go to else block. Else block, which is the statement, break statement. Already we will discussing, once control reach the break statement, then immediately control will go to outside the loop. Outside the loop means this print message is executed. Okay, next one, assert or assertion. Assertions. Assertion is a Boolean expression. Assertion is a Boolean expression. Assertion is a Boolean expression, comma, whenever the assertion to give the or to return the true, to return the true, in that case, do nothing in our program, do nothing in our program, do nothing in our program, comma, our program continuously executed. Assertion is a Boolean expression. Whenever the assertion to return the true, in that case, do nothing in our program continuously executed. Our program continuously executed. Otherwise, that means to return the false, to stop the execution, and raise the assertion error. Assertion is a Boolean expression. Whenever the assertion to return true, in that case, do nothing in our program continuously executed. Otherwise, to stop the execution and raise the assertion error. Completed. We can implement the assertions in Python by using assert keyword. We can implement the assertions in Python by using assert keyword. Syntax assert expression assert expression error message. Now observing very clearly. I am taken as one object as a input, val of input of interpretable object. Defining average function, average of x, assert length of x not equal to 0, print of sum of x by length of x, print of average of object. Now we'll get the average. Here I am using print statement. That's why none value we are getting. Okay. For suppose observing very clearly, here assert statement to give the return true. That means length of x not equal to 0. Condition is true. That's why do nothing in our program continuously executed. For suppose whenever assert statement to give the false, in that situation to stop the execution to raise the assertion error. Understand? Completed. Next one more example. Observing very clearly. For suppose if you interest, you can pass error message also. That error message also printed.
So in real time, in what scenarios we use this assertion?
Maximum unit test cases at the time we are using assert keyword.
Yeah. So this is mostly used in unit testing.
Unit test cases. If you want to, our test case is passed, then only I want to executing remaining logic. In that situation, we are using assert statement.
Yes, true.
Yeah,
Okay.
completed. Now observing very clearly, I am trying to implement it both the user-defined exceptions and the built-in exception in a single program. Enter your object. Enter your object. Next, observing very clearly, I am defining the function. Before that one, I am defining my own exception classes. Class, string class, or my string exception. That exception class is extending by built-in exception class. Simply, I am providing one document in string exception class user defined string exception class non-iterable exception. That exception is extending by exception class user defined non-iterable exception class okay. Take the iterable object as a input. Now here, if before that one I'm using try block. If type of x in either integer or float or complex. Okay, in that situation, I want to raise one exception. I want to raise in that exception is called non-iterable exception.
Forgot to mention pass keyword.
Which one?
In first two classes, you forgot to mention pass.
Okay, just I am creating empty class. Here I am using one documentation that is not a mandatory. This is an optional statement.
Okay.
If you enter, simply we can remove this one. We are using pass. Elif type of x is equal to str. Now I want to raise one more exception. String exception I want to raise it. Okay. Next one, else block asset. For suppose in else block, exception is raising. Now observing very clearly, I am written except blocks, except string exception. I want to provide one message. We cannot perform the average operation on operation on string. On string objects. Okay. Except block, non-iterable exception. Print please enter iterable objects only. Okay. Next one, another except assertion error. This is a one built-in exception. Print length should not be 0. Length should not be 0. Okay. Finally, without any exception in our try block, control will go to else block and else block message is printed. Now I'm passing one object 34 integer. In that case, please enter integer objects only. Okay, now assertion error is raising. Length should not be 0. Now I'm passing string object. In that case, we cannot perform the average operation on string object. Now I'm passing 4367. Average value are getting. Okay, these two are the user defined exceptions. Okay. Assertion error is automatically raising because that is a built-in exception. The built-in exceptions are automatically raised. But a user defined exception, we can raise the manually. Completed. Complete or not? Okay, now observing very clearly. I am using single catch block, that means except block. I want to catch the multiple exceptions at a time. In that situation, the next one, assertion error. See. Into okay, now observing very clearly. Here I am creating one constructor def underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Internally, the constructor is executed at the time of creating an object. Now, whether it is executed or not executed, I will show one user-friendly message. This message I am providing. Next one, non-iterable object. Here also I am creating one constructor. Def underscore underscore init underscore underscore self. Here I want to print. Please enter. Which one? Iterable objects. Okay. Now observing very clearly. For suppose I am passing integer value. Now that message we are getting. Now I am passing string object. Now that message is printed. One more time. Empty list. Now assertion error. Assert. This is a which one? Built-in exception. But a built-in exception is extended by exception class. Now how to use that one? Again we are using exception, or otherwise we can define that class also manually. Except assertion error. Print length should not be 0. Okay, we are using either built-in exceptions or user-defined exception. Only one combination we are using. Now it is executed. Okay, whenever we can raise this exception, already we will discussing internally, this exception class object is created. At the time of creating a class object, which one is executed? The constructor is executed. That's why this message we are printed.
So then what is the use of print E here in except block?
This message I want to printing, that value will be storing into this one. That object will store into this particular E value. Okay, exception is raising here to create the object. That object will be stored into the which one? Except block. Where is that except block? This is a E except block. Okay, now our try block exception is raising our try block to identifying and receiving and forwarding to the except block.
So if we comment this print of E, what will be the error?
Okay. Expected an indentation block after one except statement. For suppose please enter retrievable objects only. Okay. It is printed here also. I am passing non-iterable object. This message is printed. But whenever we are creating an except block or any block, one statement is required. Just I am printing he, or otherwise we can return any one statement. Without any statement, we will get the error messages.
Yeah, that's what my questions are here. I mean, that is not compulsory to print the E, right? So we can write anything because we already, I mean, giving the
here it is
exception
not required, but whenever we are using built-in exceptions, compulsory E value is printed. Okay.
Okay.
That's why I'm follow the one rule, either built-in exception or user-defined exception.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, sir.
For suppose here assertion error. Okay, here I am taken as a except. Observing very clearly. Exception I am using, exception class as E. I am not printing anything. Simply I am using pass. Don't printing E. Now observing very clearly. We are not getting any value. Okay. Now I am printing E. Now because this is a built-in exception, here there is no documentation string. For suppose in your program, we are getting value error or anything. For suppose I am passing value error. For suppose try block x equal to int of input, y equal to int of input, z equal to x by y, z equal to x by y, print of z. Now I'm taking as the except block, exception exception as he, print E. Now observing I am passing to 3.2. Now invalid literal. This message we are getting. Now this value we are getting. For suppose simply I am using pass. We are not getting any value. Are you clear understanding?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Got
that's why we can store this exception class object into one variable. We can print that variable. Okay, here we are creating manual exceptions or user defined exceptions. In that user defined exceptions, we can providing one user friendly message. That message we are getting at the time of creating an object, this except constructor is executed. But in predefined exceptions, we can handle that exceptions. Compulsory, we can store that one into one variable. Okay. That's why always we are following any one option. Completed.